Midpoint Circle Algorithm. In this algorithm, pixels will be selected so that we can get a smooth circle. We are considering a circle of radius r and center at origin. Therefore, this is the equation of the circle. Now, here I am showing a particular pixel has been selected in the octant of the first quadrant. And you can see that in this pixel, the xk and yk I am showing, and what will be the next pixel to be selected. That is according to the algorithm. Here, the x coordinate will be incremented by 1 compulsorily in this algorithm, in this octant. And in that case, there are two options for y coordinate. One is this pixel. If we select this pixel, then y coordinate will remain the same. If we select, then y coordinate will be decremented by 1. And this is the midpoint of these two pixels. And that is why it is called the midpoint circle algorithm. Now, we can express the circle equation by these functions. And then we find a decision parameter that pk, and already I told we are choosing the midpoint and for decision parameter, and an x coordinate will be incremented by 1, and we are taking the midpoint of the two pixels, which are the pixel, the possibility to be selected. And if we substitute that value, we find the pk, and then we are substituting pk by k plus 1. That is the next decision parameter. And then if we simplify it, we'll get this pk plus 1 will get this expression. And here you can see that yk plus 1, there are two possibilities. Either it may be a yk remain the same, or it may be decremented by 1. And therefore it is showing that there are two possibilities, yk or yk minus 1. And then this is the next decision parameter equation. Next we will show that if the decision parameter found to be negative, that means less than 0, then y coordinate of the pixel will remain the same. And this expression for pk plus 1 will be this, because you can see the earlier equation, whatever I shown, that if that pk plus 1 is yk, then this expression will be vanished, and this also will be vanished. Therefore, remaining is this 3. And then, and that way, we can get this equation. Now, otherwise, if the pk is not less than 0, that otherwise, if the not less than 0, then yk plus 1 will be equal to yk minus 1. That means it will be decremented. In that case, that next decision parameter will be, I have shown the its derivations, and then pk plus 1 will be expressed by this equation. Then we are coming to find the initial decision parameter. That initial position is in that octant. What we are talking about, that octant in the first quadrant, is already I shown in the diagram, is 0 and r. That means r is the radius. And you substitute that in the function, we can find the decision parameter here. This is the decision parameter. Now we can summarize midpoint circle algorithm. The first will take the radius of the circle and the center of the circle, and therefore initial position will be 0, r. That means 0, radius of the circle. And we can calculate the initial decision parameter by this formula, as because it is if it is integer, we can reduce it to 1 minus r. Then we'll start the calculation of our decision parameter. Then at k equal to 0, we'll start it. And if the decision parameter is found to be less than 0, the next pixel is xk plus 1. That means x coordinate of the pixel will be incremented by 1 and the yk will remain the same. And therefore, next decision parameter will be found out by this equation that already I have shown. Otherwise, that means if the pk is not negative, then the x coordinate will be incremented by 1 and the y coordinate will be decremented by 1. And the next decision parameter will be found out by this equation. And this process will be repeated until x will become equal to y or greater than y. After finding all the pixels coordinate in that octant what we are discussing in the first quadrant, we have to modify the pixels coordinate if the center is not origin. And we have to modify by this, I am showing here by these two equations. And after that, we have to find remaining 7 octants are there. We have to find the coordinates of the remaining 7 coordinates. We have to find the pixels coordinate. And that 7 coordinate pixels can be found with the help of this octants coordinate that I'll show. Now we'll illustrate the midpoint circle algorithm. Here you can see the radius we are taking as 10 and center at origin. And with this, we are finding the initial decision parameter as -9. And our initial coordinate is 0r, that means radius 0, 10. Next, we are showing that table. Here, already we have found out the initial decision parameter is -9. Because it is negative, the y coordinate will remain the same. Because it was 0, 10, it will remain as 10. But the x coordinate, every step, x coordinate will be incremented by 1. After finding that, I am adding this another two columns because these are required for finding out the next decision parameter. Then this is the double of that, and this is the double of this y coordinate. That very simply we can find it out. Next, whatever you can see, wherever our the decision parameter found to be negative, that y coordinate is not changing. Here it is found to be negative, y coordinate is not changing. When it is positive, it is decrementing. And in that way, we reach a particular coordinate where x coordinate and y coordinate both are same. Here we stop. And these are the pixels, whatever the pixels coordinate is in that octant in the first quadrant. Now I'll show that with these coordinates, we can find remaining all the coordinates in the different octants, we can find it out. Now, and these are the coordinates we already find out. Now I'm coming to the first coordinate. We only up to 7,7 here in the one octant in the first coordinate, and another octant in the first coordinate, we can find out that you can see it is 6,8. We'll interchange it. 6,8 will make it to 8,6. Here 5,9 will make it to 9,5. In that way, all these will interchange and will get the pixels coordinate in the another octant in the first coordinate. Therefore, we are getting all the coordinates in the first quadrant, pixels coordinate in the first quadrant. And we know that in the second quadrant pixels coordinate to find out, we know that in the second quadrant x is negative and y coordinate is positive. Therefore, all these x coordinate will make it negative and the y coordinate will remain the same. That is the things we are doing here. And in the third quadrant, we know that the x coordinate and the y coordinate both are negative. Therefore, we'll make all these x coordinate negative and the y coordinate also negative. That is things we are doing here. And in the fourth quadrant, we know that the y coordinate is negative and x coordinate is positive. Therefore, y coordinate is made to negative and the x coordinate is positive. In that way, from finding out the pixels coordinate in one octant, we can find remaining 7 octant. We can find out by this way. And that is all about the midpoint circle algorithm and with its illustration.